We'll head over now to Groups A versus F for the senior category. And this one again, Noah Montero and Scott Lindblom starting it on the front row of the grid. But again, a recall of what we can expect to see coming up later. Of course, as the engines fire up, we've got Group C and D, C and E, sorry, B and F, A and D for the next bout of race groups that will be coming out onto the circuit after this one. But this is A and F, and the engines are fired up. And let's go over that starting order. Noah Montero and Scott Lindblom go from row number 1. Joseph Smith and Timo Ramekers on row 2. Miguel Costa and Luna Flusha, after that spin earlier on, is looking for a better result in this one. She starts on the 3rd row of the grid. Philippe Carras, who's had a couple of DNFs this weekend, needs the good results here. He'll have Guy Albag for company alongside. Gabriel Koeniken and Matteo Giaccardi on row 5. They'll have Matthew Higgins, who had a great race earlier on. Can he do the same? With Tiziana Monda starting on row number 6. Stylianos Kolovos and Guillaume Bouzard on row 7. They'll have Bernardo Benoldi and Austin Gale on row 8. Ana Garcia and Davide Bottaro on row 9. Jensen Graham and Louis Castellini on row 10. They'll have Peter Stiller and Jacob Kamenik on row 11. Leon Brunner and Maximilian Rafalik on row 12. Alexander Chartier and Arne Kiebel on row 13. Maria Neto and Matilda Itzkovic on row 14. With Yanling on row 15, 29-car field, and everyone is out on the circuit. Reminder of the intermediate classifications in the senior category. It's Joe Turney who leads it at the moment. He's had 5 qualifying heat wins out of 6, 250 points to his name. Jimmy Elias from Dries van Langendonk, Elia Kaczynski from Lewis Werrell, Salim Hanar from Loveways and Budler, Zach Drummond from David Cosmo, and Freddie Lloyd round out the top 10 in the intermediate classifications. There's a handful of points between them right now. But again, all the drivers will be focusing more on the job in hand in these races than thinking about points that they have to get to before the end of the day. But again, this order will determine who starts where for the Superheats tomorrow. Of course, at the moment, Joe Turney looking to start on pole position for Superheat 1 tomorrow. He's got one more race to go, and he's got maximum points right now. So at the end of that one, I mean, I don't think anyone can catch him. I mean, Jimmy Elias is second in the points with 173. So he's quite some way behind. And then everyone in this race, the top ranking driver in this, I mean, is quite far down, actually. I mean, I don't think we've got anyone, because I think they need to do an extra race right now to put themselves in that position. So it has been a tough day for this field with the rain, but with the clouds subsiding just a little bit there, everything looks to be a little bit better right now. But the track's still very much wet out there, and, well, back of the field is not formed up at all. The front is, though, however, and if the front's good, well, for me, I think we could be good here into the tram lines. Are we going racing? The answer to that is no. We are going round again. So that is our first false start of the weekend. Back of the order, not in formation whatsoever. So they do need to be careful with that one. Reminder of the championship standings going into this weekend. Timo Ramekers is the championship leader going into this round, 248 points to his name. Joe Turney with 223, so it's a good chunk of points behind. But of course, drop scores are going to be put into effect on this one at the end of it, and it brings it a little bit closer in the standings. But Timo Ramekers has not had a weekend to remember here, and right now in this one, he is in it, and he needs to try and battle away in this, because in the OK category, he has been tumbling down that order. He does not sit anywhere within the top 10. He might not even score any championship points for the first time in a qualifying heats phase over this season. Now, the worst points he scored would have been from Kristianstad. He scored 1 point in the final, 15 points in the qualifying heats in the super heats phase. That's his worst points that he's had so far. But he's in line right now to not score any points, is Timo Ramekers, and that will really put him on the back foot in the championship. So he needs to dig deep in this one, needs to focus, and needs to try and get to the front of this order. This looks much better. Field is nice and calm, nice and slow as we head round the final corner now into the tram lines. Are we going racing this time? I think we are. Green flag and racing down in towards turn number 1. Great start for Montero, but it's a little bit wide on the exit there. It looks like some drivers may have got a little bit caught out on the grass going into the bridge. One driver definitely caught out on the grass there. It's definitely a CRG going off the circuit. The 367 there getting caught out on the outside. That is Gabriel Kernigan trying to get back on the inside line. I think manages to do so successfully and heads down the hill then for the first time. Is that Joseph Smith leading the way? It is Joseph Smith leading the way comfortably right now at the end of this first half of the lap. There you can see Noah Montero has slotted into second place, but where are the drivers behind right now? You can see Ramicus is there in third place at the moment. Scott Lindblom still there in P4, right behind. They're a very dramatic, different little racing line that we're seeing right there. One of the Forza Racing carts going very wide. I think that's Matteo Giaccardi up at the sharp end of the field. Oh, a clip of the curb there, unsettling the kart for Noah Montero. That allows Ramicus to close in just that little bit. And there, Scott Lindblom as well, pushing hard right now. But not hard enough, because here comes Matthew Higgins, sorry, I should say. Matthew Higgins coming through. So Matthew Higgins, again, another lightning start. 7 places gained, as unfortunately off the track is one of our drivers. That looks like to me that's Louis Castellini for the Charles Leclerc Racing Team. The driver not going any further, unfortunately. Well, the race continuing on to lap number 2, and Smith still leads, and by 2.3 seconds. Where has Joseph Smith found this pace? He has, he's not been at the sharp end for a lot of these. He's qualified well, he qualified very well overall. As round goes Flusha. Again, Luna Flusha has another spin. And, well, she gets out of the kart now, but there's still multiple karts going through her. She's not phased by that at all. And, well, throwing the hands up in the air as well was Gabriel Kernigan. But, I mean, I can't sure he can put full blame there, but certainly that's not what you want to see at all. This is kicking off as well. Higgins has got up into second place. Matthew Higgins past Noah Montero, and is trying to close in on Joseph Smith now in the lead. Side by side in the background there as Bottaro gets past Costa. Costa on the back foot now, dropping down the order as through goes Davide Bottaro, who is up 12 positions in this race. There, down the inside, Thibaut Ramicus. That was never going to work on Noah Montero. Amazingly, he's going to try and keep it going down the inside. Montero slams the door closed. Keep an eye, though, on Lindblom. Lindblom's going to try and get the switch back. Trying to get it on Ramicus. And Ramicus sends it down the inside. Now goes down the inside, does Lindblom. And Lindblom gets both of them. Does Montero fight back? Yes, he does. Montero gets back down the inside. Ramicus fights through as well. And Lindblom says think. Lindblom says think to Ramicus. Let's not push too hard. Let's try and close in. But, you know, Ramicus is one of those. He's not had the great results. Lindblom's going to go for the move again, though. And this is just the case. You're seeing these different racing lines. You're seeing the dry versus the wet racing line come in now. And Lindblom forces it through Pitts Bend. Now, we have not seen an overtake there at all this weekend. And through goes Thibaut Ramicus. More contact between the two of them. Ramicus and Lindblom take to the grass. That is as feisty as you'd like to get it. And Montero could capitalize on this one. There's an exhaust that's come off one of the carts over the start-finish line. That will be a technical flag if I've ever heard one. Sounds good, though. But down the hill, Lindblom retakes the lead of this group. Ramicus now back to P4. Montero there in P5. Bottaro's got a chance of closing in right here, as there's, again, yellow flags out all over the circuit for drivers just losing it on the road. And there again, we're seeing it. Just no turn-in there for Thibaut Ramicus. Losing touch now on Scott Lindblom. Lindblom breaking away at the sharp end. There's another kart grinding to a halt. It looks to me like a Tony kart there. going backwards. Is that Maria Neto? It is, I believe. Maria Neto, the young female, out of this race, going no further. This battle here, though, still kicking off. Lindblom, Ramicus, Montero. There is Ramicus, Montero right behind now, as again, look at them twitching to see who's going to blink first into the turning zone of the Bruno Ferrari S's. Montero, Bottaro still there as well. Bottaro trying to get involved. That loose exhaust is still out on the circuit. I believe it's Alexander Chartier on the Paralin that the exhaust has come off. So they'll do need to keep an eye on that one. Here comes Bottaro, here comes Costa. Costa on the outside. Tries to get the switchbacks, not going to happen. Bottaro takes the tighter line. And is he going to try and go for the move? Into hairpin 2, the answer is no. Stays behind. Very sideways moment there for Ramicus. And Montero gets through. How on earth did Timo Ramicus keep hold of that one? Fully sideways out of the hairpin number 2. And again, he's going to try and fight back in this one. Back to the inside, but now Bottaro's got a wheel alongside. Gets his nose cut across the front. Is denied the chance of getting through. And the 4 of them stay line astern now. Smith and Higgins, there's 1.6 seconds between of them, but they're 5 seconds clear from this battle here on your screen. Lindblom, Montero, Ramicus, Bottaro and Costa all battling away. And still off the track, you could probably hear it on the cameras there. Still, it looks like Alexander Chartier has not come back into the pit lane. Right, here's Montero going down the inside. This was him on the outside. A little bit of wheel banging between the 2 of them. Lit up the rear axle and just kept control of it. Superb kart control there again. Bosch on the exit, but Ramicus holding on to that one superbly. Well, Smith, Higgins, Lindblom, Montero, Ramicus, Bottaro, Costa, Albag, Keeble. Harley Keeble, not said much about him in this race. 17 places gained for the Briton in the DPK kart. Is pushing through as again Ramicus finds a way past Montero. These 2 have not left each other alone this entire race. And Ramicus here, this is what we're talking about. He's had a couple of retirements in this race, a couple of bad results. Here's Bottaro down the inside through turn 1. Absolutely superb from Davide Bottaro. He gets up now into P5. Ramicus gets a hold on that one. In to the pit lane comes Alexander Chartier. And yes, that exhaust is not attached at all. And there you can see why. Great work from the camera crew down there to get hold of that one. But yeah, that was absolutely, it sounded fantastic, but performance-wise, I suspect it suffered a little bit. And noise-wise, I think we suffered a little bit with that kart out there. So that's a bit of a shame for Alexander Chartier out of this race. Now Montero's on the back foot here because Bottaro's got through his up 13 places now. There you can see Miguel Costa just behind, but Montero's going to fight back here. Oh, again diving down the inside. Here comes Costa down the inside now. No fight there between the 2 of them. Back here, though, with the race leaders, this is closed in and heated up. And I've got to say, I'm seeing a dry line out there, ladies and gentlemen, through turn 1. I mean, this is going to be a pretty tough call. I think it's still going to be wet for the next race. But if the conditions stay like this, we might see us switching to slick tyres. Here again is Alexander Chartier in the pit lane. And yeah, confirmation, no bueno on that exhaust. That is out of the race. This one here, Smith and Higgins, though. First and second place. Higgins hand closed in. Dropped off again just in the background. Not able to close in just at this stage of the race. So again, we'll keep a close eye on this fight as they push their way through the chicane. Lindblom, Ramicus, Bottaro, Albag, Costa, Montero still there behind. Biggest movers though, Jensen Graham is up 10 places in this race inside the top 10. Harley Keeble is the top 10, 16 places gained. Guillaume Bouzard, 3 places gained. Giacardi and Callis there in 12th and 13th. Kamek, Stiller, Brunner, all up positions in this as well. Garcia holding on to 17th place. On to the final lap then that we go. Can Higgins get past Smith on this lap? You can see the dry line, it's starting to form now. You can see drivers starting to stick to it. You can see it there very clearly out of the exit of the tunnel and onto the banking. But it is very, very slippy out there still. Over the bridge, there's no line formed here at all. And you can see Higgins there, he's still taking the wet line. He got on the power nicely there, and he's got to run down the hill here. Can he go for the move for the race lead? He's going to look to the inside. Here is Matthew Higgins on this final lap. And the Energy Course driver takes the lead of this one. Smith is going to try and retaliate here in the victory lane. Oh, but Higgins hangs him out to dry. That's British karting at its finest there from Matthew Higgins, denying the chance of retaking that one. It's a carbon move of what we've seen time in, time out here at every race I've commentated on at PF International. If you've got that inside line, you hang the driver on the outside to dry, and you just hold on to it. And Higgins knows how to do that well, and he has held on to this lead. He claimed it on the last lap. Matthew Higgins confirms his win. Matthew Higgins across the line, 10 places gained, takes the win in qualifying heat A versus F. Smith finishes in second place then ahead of Scott Lindblom. Ramekers from Davide Battaro, Harley Keeble from Guy Albag, Miguel Costa from Jensen Graham, Noah Montero finishing inside the top 10. Montero at the end of that one tumbled down the order. It's a big shame there for Noah Montero. The driver who started this one on pole position, finishing in P10, and not the result he wanted at all in this one. A smattering of drivers there accumulating on the infield of hairpin number 2. But for Matthew Higgins, a certainly well-deserved race on that one, pushing his way through the field, 10 places gained. Biggest mover on that one, though, Harley Keeble, take a bow, the Briton for DPK Racing, 21 places gained, finishes in the top 5. But it's Higgins from Smith, Lindblom, Ramekers and Keeble, Battaro from Albag, Costa and Graham, Montero the top 10, Bazar from Giacardi, Callas from Kamenek, Stiller from Brunner, Garcia from Gale, Rafalik from Bernaldi,